Awesome. So, hi everyone. My name is Fola, and I am a program coordinator here at Riipen. I'm really excited to present this program to you in collaboration with TELUS. So today we'll be going over what the program is about and also just how to sign up and what you can expect as we get started. Anytime in between while I'm talking, please feel free to raise your hands up and go off mute to ask questions. We'll also have a Q&A session at the end of this session if you wanted to ask your questions at that time. So we'll get started with what Level Up is. Level Up is a Government of Canada funded internship program that helps students get ready for a career that they'll love after graduation. Learners like yourselves will connect with companies on our platform for short-term paid projects, and it would help you gain relevant work experience, build a professional network, and gain career clarity. So what does the program look like? Each project will be 60 hours long, and you'll be working on projects across all kinds of scopes and discipline. You can work alone or join a team that is already working on these projects. And each person must contribute 60 hours to each project to be eligible for payment. You can work on these projects for as little as 2 weeks and as long as 6 weeks, which means that if you finish the project before this 2-week mark, our team will review your project at a more detailed manner, and anything over 6 weeks as well, unless there was some sort of delay or anything of the sort in the process of this project. Students must apply within 5 days. This point is very important. So once you get invited into the program, you have to start applying for projects within 5 days, or else your invitation will be canceled. And once you get invited into a project and an employer has accepted your application, you must start the project within 14 days of matching with the project. So that's essentially how the timing works out. In terms of when you can start and end, like I mentioned, you have to start within 14 days of matching with an employer, but you can set the exact date that you need to start directly with the employer, as well as your end date. At the end of each project, each student will receive a $1,400 stipend, which is the payment for 60 hours of work. And how can you join? You will all be invited. Most of you must have filled the eligibility form. If you have not, I'm happy to put that form in the chat sometime along this webinar, and you can fill the form out at the end of the call. Just a little bit more about the form. The form will ask you some questions like what school you're in, what's your residence status in the country, are you a citizen, are you a permanent resident, just questions like that. And if you're eligible for the program, you will receive the invitation by email within a week's time. So who's eligible for Level Up? You have to be a registered student at a post-secondary institution that's based in Canada. You need to be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a person to whom refugee protection has been conferred. At the end of each project, you will receive a $1,400 stipend, and each of you can actually complete up to 3 projects per cycle. But obviously, due to high demand and the number of TELUS bursary students, spots are limited and placements aren't guaranteed. So we definitely advise that once you receive the invitation to the project, to the program, my apologies, please apply to projects and start following up with the employers so that they can hire you and accept your application on our platform. Our employers are Canadian businesses who have valid registered businesses. Publicly funded institutions are cannot be employers. So your school, for example, cannot be an employer within Level Up. And each of these employers must provide you with mentorship and at least 5 hours of mentorship. Each of these projects at the very latest must be completed by February 16th, but that means that it has to be a 6-week period. So to complete your project by February 16th, you need to start 2 to 6 weeks before that. Keep in mind, February 16, 2025 is the very last date. We definitely don't advise that you wait up until then before you start applying or submitting your projects. And again, this project is funded by the Government of Canada and specifically the Innovative Work Integrated Learning Program. So what does your journey look like as a level up student? As level up student, the first thing you would do is check your eligibility through that eligibility form that I mentioned. You would then be invited to join the experience through an email that we will send you. When you do that, you would start up your profile, fill it up, and verify your ID. For your ID, you're just verifying that you are who you say you are, and you're verifying that you are in a post-secondary institution. So we will be asking you to upload a proof of enrollment. That can be a letter from your school that you can find in your Blackboard, for example. It can be your tuition payment, just anything that shows that you're currently enrolled in school, and the year as well. Once you do that, you can then start applying for projects. And when an employer does accept your match, that is what we call a matched project. You will then be placed into the team where you can begin working on the project. Before you press start on the project, we ask that you please add your payment information so that we'll be able to pay you via direct deposit. Lastly, you are to progress through the 60 hours of work, create your final deliverable, which is uploading the work that you did for this employer, as well as like a small reflection of what this project was all about. You'd be asked to submit an exit survey, and once that's all done, we'll prompt your employer to give you feedback, which is them just attesting that you did the work you said you did. You should be paid for this work. And within 21 days, our team will pay you via direct deposit to the bank account information that you provided to us. So how do you join this program? Like I mentioned, you confirm your eligibility through the eligibility survey that we will send to you. I'll put the link in the chat at the end of this call. You fill that out. If you're eligible, you receive an invitation within a week. If you're not eligible, it'll tell you at the end of the form that you're not eligible for the program. You would then create a Riipen account. You'd create a learner account specifically, where you would add your pronouns, where you live, categories of projects that you're interested in, as well as your first and last name and email. What your eligibility, you're verifying your eligibility, and then your ID looks something like this. So we use a third party called Persona, where you can verify your ID as well as your proof of enrollment. And it basically captures information that legitimizes you and says that you are who you say you are. Once you are eligible, and Persona has verified you, you would be invited into the program completely, and you will have an active account. On your account, you can edit your profile, you can add in a bio, you can upload your resume and put in some, achievements that employers can read to see what kind of a student you are and why they should hire you. To apply for projects, you would navigate to the dashboard. Under My Experiences, you click on there and you would scroll down where you would see all the projects that are available under the TELUS Level Up Experience. This is something that I'll demo live to you. So this is just a screenshot that you can keep. We'll also be sending you this deck if you ever needed it for reference. So you'd go here, you can search keywords to be able to see the projects, or you can just scroll through all the projects. As of now, we have 98 projects for all of you. So there is quite a wide array of projects available for you to work on. Once you find a project that you're interested in, you click into it, and on the top right-hand side, you would click apply. When you click the apply button, it would ask you to create a name for your team. So for example, I would call my team FOLA's team, for example, or you could give it any cool generic name that you want. And on the next page, you would put in an introductory message. So that can be, hi, my name is Fola. I'm a third year student at University of Toronto. I'm interested in this project because ... And you would send that out to the employer so that they have a bit more of a customized message and as to why you're interested in their project. To track the projects you've applied for on your dashboard, again, you would click the projects tab, and under applications, you would see all your applications. You can see if they've been approved or if they've been denied or if they've just not been responded to. I definitely recommend that, you start maybe 1 or 2 projects at the same time, but only take what you can finish. Because if you start a project and you don't complete it, we don't offer partial payments. So you want to make sure that you start and can finish the project. So on your project overview page is where you'll be able to start your project, sign your agreement, submit the work that you've completed and all of that, but I will show you what that looks like live through a student's account. So before I do the short platform walkthrough, are there any questions for me at the moment?
Oh, sorry. Yes. So I just want to know if it's only in English because I speak French and I would like to try a project in French.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So we have sourced a number of French products as well, but most of them are bilingual. So what you can do is also just, brush through the available projects and see which French projects you're interested in. Most of them are bilingual, though. I wouldn't say that we're sourcing for projects that are 100% French, but they're bilingual, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, I also have a question. Are we allowed to take on more than one project then? If we're able to do all of them, yeah.
I would say yes. We have a limited number of projects. You can apply to the projects that you believe you can do. Like I mentioned, please don't complete any projects less than 2 weeks and no more than 6 weeks. And also, we do not let students work or log more than 10 hours of work a day. I'll show you what the work log looks like. Essentially, while you're reporting the work that you're doing, you'll be filling out a work log that tells us, okay, today I did marketing for 2 hours. Then after that, I did, let's say, research for another 3 hours. So that's how we ask you to track your hours within the platform. I'll show you that live. If you can do that, great. So if you're logging in 10 hours of work at one project on, let's say, November 16th, and then on the same November 16th, you're logging in 12 hours of work for another project, it clashes and it shows us that, the time isn't accurate. So those are kind of the things that we will scrutinize. So please, take on what you can chew. If you absolutely can do that, great. If you can't, you can start one project at a time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Will we receive an email for the recorded Zoom? Yes, everyone will receive a recording. I believe that the recording will be sent by TELUS themselves. If we're still in school, can we still do the projects, or will we have to wait until we have time? If you are in school and you have time, you should absolutely do the project. This program is only available to students who are currently registered in school. If you've already graduated, it means that you're no longer enrolled in a post-secondary institution, so you're not eligible. So please make sure that you are currently enrolled in a school for you to be able to complete these programs.
Are we gonna get the link for the eligibility application?
Absolutely. I'll once I'm done with the walkthrough, I'll send it. Let me see if I can send it right now. Rather. Yep, I will copy link and send it in the chat. Awesome. I just, you know what? I will get that one emailed to you all because I'm not able to put it in the chat. Oh, you know what? Everyone in this meeting, apologies. I have sent it right now. So I was trying to send it to everyone as well as the people who didn't join, but I can send it to just everyone that's currently in the meeting. So I've done that. I'll just pause my screen for a second while I open that student's account for a portal walkthrough. Awesome. So this is a current student dashboard. As you can see here, the dashboard is split into different sections where you have your task, upcoming events, as well as the projects that you're currently working on. To apply for projects, what you would do is go to My Experiences here on the left-hand side. You would then click the experience you're part of. For you, it would say TELUS Level Up instead of University of Victoria Level Up. Apologies, my internet is a little slow. So you would just scroll to the very bottom and you would see all the projects that are available. You click into any of them you're interested in and click apply on the top right-hand side. So that's how to apply for projects. To see the projects that you are already a part of, you would go to My Projects on the left-hand side, and you would see all the projects. You would see the state, if it's incomplete, complete, or in progress. And you'd also have a progress bar here with your start and end date. Under My Applications, you would see the projects that you applied to. In the case of the student, they were placed into teams rather than applying for projects. For the TELUS Level Up, all of you would have to apply for the projects that you're interested in. If there's anything that's, let's say, missing in your projects, it would show it under My Tasks. So let's say you forgot to click start on a project or you forgot to submit it on time. You would see it under task and you would see the due date, whether it's a current due date or a due date that has passed. I'll go into a project to show you what it looks like. So this is our project overview page. On here is where you are able to click start on your project. So here the first thing you would do is sign agreements. When you join a team, you would click sign here and it'll ask you to sign 3 agreements. Then you would complete an onboarding survey and then you would see an orange start button right here. Make sure you click start on the date you will say you said you wanted to start, or any time before. That is okay. You cannot click start after the fact. The start button would no longer be here anymore. So please, if you pick, let's say, after you get accepted by an employer, let's say you agree that you start a project December 2nd, please make sure that December 2nd is when you actually start the project so that there are no issues with your deadlines. So here you would then progress for 60 hours of work. And then when it's time for you to complete your project, you would go on here and click start the submission. You would click start. It would ask you to upload the work you did for your employer. If you've signed an NDA with the employer, you can still upload the work and just deduct any part that is sensitive information, and you can upload it that way. For your work log, here's what I was talking about for the work log. It's also on the overview page. You can see here, the student worked in a team of 3 members. So in total, they completed 158 hours. So for everything they do, let's say the student worked on 8 hours on marketing, they put it right here. So you would click log work, you put the task you did, let's say research. The description is not mandatory, but if you want to add it, that's great. You would say you worked on research, let's say 3 hours, and you'd put a date. You can put a date before, you can put a date after if you already have a planned schedule. So you would keep doing that up until you reach 60 hours minimum. Because when we are paying you, we verify that your work log says 60 hours, and we also download the work that you uploaded. We review it before we pay you to ensure that you're not just uploading any kind of work and it's work that looks like 60 hours of work. So that is how the platform works. In your profile, you can click on your name if you wanted to edit the profile. So you click edit profile right here. You can put the schools that you're in, you can put the projects you're kind of interested in, the skills that you have. And you can also see the feedback that your employer has provided you. In this same profile, you can go to your settings. And then if you go to payment accounts, you can click onto Policy, and on here you can put in your bank account details. That is if you forgot to do it at the beginning. So there's another resource I want to share with you all, which is a resource bank for all of you to figure out how the program works. I'll put in the chat here. So this is our landing page for all TELUS Level Up students, where we have tons of information about your program, what the program is all about, what you need to do. And I also have right here a student journey map, which shows you exactly what to do step by step to be able to complete a level up, right? A level up TELUS project. So please take your time, review all this information between today, tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us via the avocado function. So if you look at the bottom right of my screen, there's an avocado in a circle. That is how you send our team a message. So you would just start conversation, type some keywords, answer a couple questions, and then it'll prompt you to send us a ticket. And our team typically responds within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. So please, take your time to review all this information. Like I mentioned, we have a ton of information available for you. And we also have lots of resources. So I'll show you where our help articles are. So if you go to help.riipen.com, you'll be able to see a ton of articles. Since you are in the Level Up program, you would click Level Up and you would click Learner or Student, and it'll show you a whole bunch of articles. The articles have screenshots, step-by-step screenshots on how to sign up, video tutorials as well for you to use. So I'll go back here just to go over payment one more time. So as I mentioned, payment is done through direct deposit. You would need to supply us with your bank account information, bank address, your SIN number, as well as your ID. So just to confirm that the payment that you're receiving from us, you are responsible for paying taxes on it, or rather to report it to the CRA. So in February or March, when you're doing your taxes, please don't forget that you earned money through Riipen. At the end of the year, at the beginning of next year, we will send you a tax form that you can attach to your tax declaration. And yourself and the CRA would continue that process from there. So to receive payment, just to recap, you create that final submission. Your final submission includes an exit survey, uploading the work you did for an employer. That can be a PDF, an Excel sheet, a report, a research book, whatever it is, as well as a short reflection of the work that you did for the employer. The reflection can be something like, I worked on marketing analysis with XY company. Here's what I learned. Here were my roadblocks. Just something very simple. We don't have to make it too complicated. When this is done, we prompt your employer to provide you feedback. Once the employer gives you feedback, our team will review it, approve, and pay you within 21 business days. Please keep in mind that we will pay you most likely much sooner than the 21 business days, but we just give that as our timeline. That is the maximum amount of time we have to pay you as a student. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Please let me know if any of you have any questions, if you want me to go over anything else. As I mentioned, we have a dedicated team that will answer your tickets. If you have any questions, we're happy to help you with that.
I have one more question.
Yep.
I went to the page that I was looking for. I was going to register, and for me, for example, I'm studying computer science, and it was
Mhm.
asking me which field I would like to be like I'm most interested in with the employer, and I cannot see a computer science how's it called? I cannot see computer science anywhere. So do I just like pick then engineering because it's like
Yep.
software engineering?
Absolutely. So you pick the next closest or the overarching industry that is over computer science. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Are the jobs entry level? So these are, just wanted to clarify that these are internships and not jobs. 60 hours of work goes really fast. It can be done in 2 weeks, can be done in 3 weeks, 6 weeks. So most of the projects, it all depends. You can actually see on the project if an employer is looking for someone who's beginner level, intermediate, or advanced. But try things out. If something interests you and you're ready to learn, please try it out. Don't stop yourself from a learning opportunity, essentially. Someone asked, is there a wait time to get an internship with Riipen? There isn't a wait time. At the moment, there are 98 projects available to you. We're bringing in another 52 for a total of 150. So all of you have an ample amount of projects to pick from. I would just say apply to a couple of them and then pick the one that you're most interested in or the 3 you're most interested in. You can do that. Like I said, please don't take on more than you can chew. Start with 1, start with 2, start with 3 if you can, but the maximum you can do is 3 projects for the cycle. Where are we able to see the list of projects? So after you sign up, on the left-hand side, you would see my experience. When you click into my experience, you click into TELUS Level Up, you scroll down and you'll see all the projects available to you. So what I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like here. So in this page, if I'm a student, I would go to my experiences on this tab right here. I'd click into the experience. For you, it would say TELUS Level Up and not University of Victoria Level Up. You would scroll down and you would see the list of all 150 projects available to you. Someone else asked, is the program only available in the coming months or are they open year round? So this program ends February 16th. It's the very last day you can submit a project. The very last day you can start a project is January 5th. So I'll put those dates in the chat for you. So those are the dates in the chat. Anything after those dates will no longer be eligible for the funding. If you had already started and you didn't complete your project by February 16th, you're essentially forfeiting your payment. So please keep these dates in mind. Do we need to complete the exact 60 hours to be paid or just finish your project? The minimum, you have to do 60 hours of work to receive payments. If you do 58 hours, we cannot pay you. If you do 62 hours, we'll pay you for 60 hours. We cannot pay you for the 2 hours more. How long do we have to wait to get invited? We'll be inviting you within 7 days. So please, after you fill the eligibility form, essentially, we're inviting anyone who has filled the eligibility form and that is eligible. So please fill that form. It's in the chat, and that's how we'll know that you're eligible for the program. Will we have more cycle after the February deadline? We're not sure yet. For now, our agreement with TELUS is until the end, until mid-February. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Another question, I think I see one. I believe future cycles are government dependent. Will we be able to apply for a position at Riipen in the future? I just wanted to clarify that these projects are with the employers. They are not, you're not working for Riipen. If Riipen itself is in the future, you know, applying for hiring a software engineer, of course, apply with your resume. But I just wanted to mention that you are working for these employers as an intern. You're not working for them as an employee either, just as an intern. It's a short-term paid internship. So you can use this experience, yes, on your resume if you'd like to, but I would say, please make sure you get the permission from the employer if you can put that on your resume in case your job reaches out to them for a reference. For Angel, yes, there will be a recording. I will put the eligibility form in the chat again. Oops. When will the meeting be available to us? The TELUS team will be sending it this week. Awesome. So if there aren't any other questions, what we'll do is this recording will be sent to the TELUS team. As I mentioned, they'll send it to you along with any other pertinent links. Any other last questions before we wrap this up? If not, thank you all for joining. For those of you who stayed from the beginning to the end, I really appreciate your patience. I appreciate your listening. Thank you for being a part of this, and it is incredible that you're a recipient of this TELUS bursary. Thank you for your presence here, and have a great one. Thank you, everyone.